How's it going, guys? Brett Medlock here. Today I'm going to be playing some G.I. Joe Operation Blackout and giving my thoughts on the game throughout the first few missions or so. And before you say it, I know it's weird that I'm in my kitchen for some reason. The main reason is because my laptop charger broke and I have a new one coming, but it's not going to be here till Saturday. So in the meantime, I'm using this very weird setup. I mean, I just had to show you guys what this looks like. It's pretty bad. Yeah, so this is what I'm currently working with. I had already played through the tutorial and first mission, so I'm gonna go ahead and jump into the second mission, mainly because I looked online and there's not a lot of gameplay past the first level on the Switch version, so I figured I would jump into this. It makes the most sense. I'm gonna do normal mode. So my main takeaway with the first mission, and I'll just throw in some gameplay right now, this sound was so weird. Like, you'd think there would be this crazy, like, intense music playing in the very beginning whenever you're, like, rushing this ship and killing a bunch of people, but it was weirdly calm, and it just did not feel right. And unfortunately, the gameplay is pretty basic, which I'll get into right now. You're mainly just running and shooting, and then every once in a while, you're going to use your melee attack. It's very simple, and which I think is probably what they were going for. I'm assuming a lot of younger kids are going to be playing this game, but at the same time, G.I. Joe has a pretty rabid fan base, and it's a lot of older people who like G.I. Joe. Actually, a little bit before my time. I would say people who grew up in the 80s, whereas I grew up mainly in the 90s, and dang, I cannot shoot this thing. Okay. And yeah, it's a pretty old fan base nowadays. So the fact that it's so simple kind of bums me out. I wish there was a little more to it. But weirdly enough, even though the gameplay is pretty simple, the difficulty is pretty hard. Like, I already died a few times. So in this game, there's no cover-based system. You do crouch, like, you crouch behind stuff, but you can't, like, go up against a wall and cover and do all that stuff. It's not like Gears of War or anything. Honestly, I would put it more closely to something like Fortnite, with the way you're crouching and looking around corners like this, which is honestly probably what they were going for, once again, because they're probably aiming to get a younger crowd in this. And just looking at the game, graphically and, like, the running animations, everything looks very Fortnite, which, I mean, I guess that makes sense if they're going to try and get the younger audience. So these guys are always constantly dropping in. It kind of reminds me of Halo. So the reload mechanic is actually similar to Gears of War, which I actually like because it adds a little extra thing to do to, I guess, make things a little more complicated. So watch, when you reload, which I might add is also the same button as Gears, if you click R at the right time, you will reload quicker, which is pretty nice. So I'm going to go ahead and do my special attack and show you guys what that's like.
Together we win.
See, oh, hers is the barrier. I didn't know that. Okay, so a lot of the special attacks. Oh, that's my partner. I'm sorry, guy. A lot of the special attacks have very short range, which is unfortunate. Yeah, the reloading is similar to Gears of War, and the crouching is similar to Fortnite. The running and everything, the feel of the game is similar to Fortnite. I haven't played much, but it just reminds me of it all around. So aside from that, you got your traditional dash. You can roll, which I haven't even really had to use. Wait, do you have to recharge a roll? You can jump as much as you want, but if you roll, you can only do it like once every like 4 seconds or so. That's kind of weird. I like the graphics of the game. They're not like super impressive or anything, but they're going for like a more cartoony art style, and I kind of dig it. Especially looks good with like all the explosions and whatnot. And the lighting and stuff looks pretty nice as well. See all the pretty explosions. Those are pretty nice. Now, I haven't played much of this second mission yet, but I can say already that it's a lot better than the first mission. The first mission, just the audio, the graphics, like the environments, they weren't as interesting, and the actual combat scenarios weren't that fun. It was very repetitive. This is breaking things up a little bit. Now, there is like an auto-aim, basically, which is why I keep going in and out of aiming. I guess it's the default mode, so, I mean, it's helpful, but it might make things a little too easy for you, and I'm sure you can shut it off. Actually, let me just check just in case. Auto-aiming, yes, you can shut it off completely. I'm gonna keep it on just because I don't want to die while I'm recording. But yeah, if you want to turn that off, you can, and that'll make it a bit more challenging. But yeah, man, this level looks so much better than the first level. The first level is really not a good indicator of how good the graphics are, because honestly, I think this game, graphics-wise, it looks pretty darn good, especially for it running on Switch. And obviously, this is going to be on the other platforms, but the Switch version looks really solid. I'm impressed. Unfortunately, I'm not a frames per second guy, so it's hard for me to tell if a game is running at 30 or 60. I'm probably in the minority on that one, but I really can't tell that big of a difference usually. In some games I can, but in a game like this, with this art style, I just can't tell. So sorry about that. So it looks like this is going to be a Horde section. So once again, it seems like they're taking some inspiration from Gears of War. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and beat this and then fast forward to the next section. So I'm about to be going there in a few seconds. And I'm going to see how it is graphically, how it is gameplay-wise, if it's repetitive like the first level was. And then we'll come back and I'll give my final impressions on the game so far. So as you can see, they mix things up a bit more, and now we're in a driving section. So honestly, the pacing of the game, aside from the first level, which, like I said, I didn't like, I like that they're mixing things up. We had a linear section that was indoors with a war and whatnot, and then we had an outdoor section with a horde scenario, and now we're doing a driving section. So at least they went out of their way to mix up the gameplay quite a bit. I think the first 30 minutes or so of the game is a bad like opening, and you might not think it's going to be very great, but now it's actually pretty fun. Like the horde section was pretty good. And now this driving section's different. I mean, I don't really know if it's good yet, but it's at least shaking up the pacing quite a bit. And graphically, this looks pretty good. There's some pop-in in the back, which I'm sure you can see. I have 2 different weapons that I can use during this. I can shoot these guys. Oh, it's a charge weapon. That's cool. Oh, nice. Blow them up. Ooh, get out of here. Oh, they're not dead. Now he's dead. That's pretty satisfying, I'm going to be honest. I just feel like the music... It's just not very intense. I'm not sure if it's music from the TV show or anything like that, but it really is a bit too calm or too quiet in my opinion. I mean, I'm sure I can turn it up in the settings, but it's weird that like by default this is as loud as the music is. I feel like it could be a lot better and a lot more intense, but the music kind of mellows things out a little bit. But yeah, one thing I forgot to bring up earlier that I wanted to talk about was that I'm not sure what this game follows in terms of the old cartoon, which, like I said, I didn't really watch much of. I know G.I. Joe, like I was obviously a kid at one point, but I didn't watch a ton of it, so I'm not sure if this is the same voice actors, if these characters look similar, if this world looks similar to the TV show. I'm just not sure. Or if there's any like special callbacks or anything. I'm not sure what system you're planning on buying this on, but Switch version obviously isn't going to run as good as the other guys. But hasn't been unbearable or anything. I'd say this is probably the worst it's been in this driving section. This game is fully co-op, which I assume would be a lot of fun, especially if you're playing with a younger kid or even a kid who loves G.I. Joe. Especially the Horde section that I just did. Doing that with a friend would probably be a lot of fun. It'd be similar to Gears of War, which I keep bringing up. I love that series. This feels like a weird melding of Gears of War and Fortnite, in my opinion. I'm not sure if anyone else has said that, but that's what it feels like to me. The crouching's Fortnite, the running animations, the jumping, all that stuff feels very Fortnite, but then the actual shooting and the reloading and the actual gameplay scenarios, the combat scenarios that you get in, they remind me of Gears of War. Like this driving section, Gears of War does that sometimes. The Horde stuff, Gears of War does. And I think that pacing-wise, it's really fun so far. I might actually keep playing this. I'm glad I kept playing after the first level because I feel like missions 1 and 2 are already a lot better. And if the game keeps ramping up and getting better and better, this might actually be a really great game. As of right now, I would probably say it's okay to good. If you're a fan of G.I. Joe, obviously you might want to pick this up. But if you're looking for a co-op game, if you have a son or maybe a younger brother or something like that, this is probably a good game to play with them, especially if you don't want them playing any more mature, like gritty games like Gears of War, which I've brought up now for the 80th time. But yeah, obviously, I don't think G.I. Joe Operation Blackout is going to blow your mind, but the gameplay is passable. It's not very intricate or deep. It's pretty basic, but it puts you in a lot of fun scenarios where you're just going to be shooting guys in the head, which is ultimately pretty fun usually. Now, I really wish it was cover-based shooting instead of this like crouching stuff that Fortnite does, and I also wish the melee felt a bit more satisfying. It feels like it doesn't really do nothing, and you have to get really, really close in order to actually hit people. You can't like be running and then swing and then they jump forward. It just doesn't work really well, but aside from those complaints, I think it's pretty fun. If you enjoyed this Let's Play / impressions video, be sure to hit that thumbs up. If you didn't enjoy this video, make sure you hit that thumbs down. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. Subscribe if you're interested, and I'll talk to you guys later. See ya.
This would be of